Welcome to Inspired by Design, the podcast where we explore the tools, stories, and insights to help you rediscover your authentic self and navigate life with less resistance. I'm Katie Rupert, a former hustle and grind overachiever on a thrilling and messy journey. I'd love to share what I'm learning and help others in self-discovery using human design. So, if you're seeking a way to move forward, let me be your weekly mindset coach and share stories to inspire you to action towards your unique purpose without the force or burnout.
Hello, happy Friday. Hope you're having a great one. I am preparing for going out of town. So with Pampered Chef, you can earn these incentive trips. And this will be, probably my 17th, 18th incentive trip that I've earned. I'm very excited. It's my first ever cruise. So be thinking of me. I'll be cruising in Bermuda. That'll be fun. But anyway, I leave for that next week. So I was planning our episodes here for while I was gone. And I realized that I haven't done a Q&A in a really long time. So I'm going to take your questions from the Google form and answer those here next week. But for this week, I just wanted to do a quick check-in because I was at a workshop tonight. I taught just a general overview of human design types and authorities and profile personality, which I have an episode for each one of those way early in the podcast. But what I loved about tonight's class, it was a coaching group, and it was like a health coaching group, and it was specific to weight loss support. And I can really relate to that. I've done some life coaching, but also like as a coachee, but also as a coach. And I haven't got my certification for health coaching. That's not something that's on my bingo card, if you will. But I am very, very familiar with the person who wants to improve their life and wants to do the right things, wants to make a change because they know they can see that change is needed, and they can see that they might need some support outside, which no shame in that game, right? Sometimes we need someone to help us even just stand there while we do the thing that we want to do. But what got me thinking was, for so many years of my life, I really did think that the answers were outside of me. Not, I need a little support. I thought that what I needed was somewhere out there and not something that I could have within me. And the realization that I have through like all the tools that I've learned, not just human design, but human design is the clearest one for me, that it's usually more about becoming your authentic self and unlearning all of the things that you've tried on from other people's opinions, other people's systems, other people's beliefs, and unlearning what you've been told to do or what tradition says or what you're supposed to do, and starting to learn how to listen to yourself. Remembering who you are, even, is another way to say it. And each human design type has a way that energy is increased and optimized, where we feel like we're flowing and we feel good, less likely then to feel like we need change or something's missing. And we each have an authority, and the authority is really interesting. Usually simple and usually from the body. It is, for all of them are from the body. And yet, as humans in this society, we are taught how to make decisions from the mind. And as I was looking through the questions that we're going to answer, the Q&A from the Google form, a lot of them were about making decisions or second guessing decisions or feeling overwhelmed about all the decisions they have to make. And it's not really meant to be this hard, unknown thing that's outside of us. It really is, a big portion of it is about learning to trust ourselves, that we were uniquely and intelligently designed with a system to navigate this, to live in flow, to live in harmony, to not feel overwhelmed, to not have to go find something outside of us. That's the answer. So anyway, I was at this group and we were talking about our types, and something has never happened before. Every single person there was a generator or a manifesting generator, and they had a pure sacral authority, which is going with your gut. And so that made it really easy for me to talk about because that's my type too. And I thought, first of all, statistically, not likely to have that happen very often, at least. And it was really fun to talk to this group of people because we were talking about what it's like to make decisions from the gut. And a lot of times I use the example of the sacral being like the toddler that they want what they want, and you can't negotiate with them. We talked a lot about that. And there were two examples that came up that I just loved. I want to share them with you today. So when it comes to this or that, kind of the inverse came up. So a sacral yes, or where you don't second guess, it feels good in your body. You get energy from a sacral yes as a sacral generator, a manifesting generator. Do you want this or this? Well, I want the blue one or whatever. And that's just a little, I'm following my alignment. I'm going towards what I want. It's satisfying to me. Okay. One of the examples that one of our group members had said is that why when, you have two things in your hand and you say this or that, and you open the right hand, you're like, oh, I don't want that one. It kind of clarifies that you wanted the other one. And I think of the episode where Rachel finds out she's pregnant and Phoebe was like, hey, you're not pregnant. And then she said that she was a little disappointed. And Phoebe's like, well, now you know how you really felt about it. She's like, oh, that's a tricky situation. Okay. I watched all the Friends lots of times. But anyway, I thought of that example. I was like, wow, yeah. I mean, I guess that is very similar to the full-bodied yes, is whenever you don't follow it, whenever you get something that is not what your sacral wants, you're going to feel that resistance. You're going to feel something that's not the full-bodied yes. And anything that's not moving towards it, it is a no or a no for now. And so it is really clear. We talked a little bit tonight about how sometimes what's going to be satisfying, what is really meant for us and feels aligned, could just be because at the end of the day, we're going to feel satisfied and accomplished because of it. It doesn't necessarily have to be fun, but our bodies know if it's right for us. And sometimes it's just the next right step, and it's not the full answer that we need. So I just thought that was really interesting. And I do love to have this conversation because every single one of the people tonight, when we were talking about it, they would give examples about how they're already living in alignment, or they already know this is true. And that's what I find about human design is we already know this stuff innately. So when we hear it, it's in our charts, or we feel it in practice. Like, oh yeah, I already knew that was true. I feel that that is true. And that's one of my favorite parts of doing human design readings too, is when people are like, oh, I knew it. Like I told that feels totally right. Or this feels very validating. Or I always knew that that was true for me, but I thought it wasn't, like, but they haven't crossed over to trusting themselves that they could say it out loud, or let what their body tells them be enough without needing to over explain or overdo. Okay. And then the other thing, I'm jumping over to profile now, but we were talking about the personality numbers in the lines. And when we got to number 3, if you have a 3 or a 6 in your personality profile, that 3 is someone who really needs to understand that we never fail. We only learn. We need to experiment. We don't need to just consume information. We got to go do some stuff, try it. Trial and error is going to be really important, right? Well, one of the gals that were in the group tonight, she mentioned that she used to feel so bad about when she'd spend money and something didn't work out. Like, oh, it's such a waste, or I can't believe I did that, or I'd feel bad that I made that decision. And I know that she mentioned that this was something that she heard, but I loved the example. She said, it's not a waste of money. This is the tuition to learn. This was just the tuition you paid. So whether it's time or money, if it doesn't work out the way that you thought, you could just think of it as your tuition to learn that lesson. And I just thought that was such a cool example. I wanted to pass it along to you as well. So if things aren't working the way that you want, or you made a quote unquote mistake, right? It's okay, because you just paid the tuition to learn your lesson. That was your university of life, right? Anyway, those are the 2 little things that I wanted to share. And I am planning on doing a Q&A episode for next week. So if you're listening to this and you have a question about burnout, overwhelm, human design, yoga, the moon, I don't know, those are some of the hot topics that I've been learning and enjoying talking about lately. You can submit more questions on the Google form, and I'm going to get through as many as I can for next week's episode. With that, we're listening to this on Friday, April 10th. Okay. Oh, happy birthday to my father-in-law. And if you're listening to this on the 10th, the 12th is the tea ceremony that I get to be a part of. It's going to be a really cool ceremony. Check out the link in the show notes to see if that's something that would appeal to you. Maybe you could come with a friend. And I've got a couple moon workshops coming up. And what else is going on? I have a new calendar online, so you can check out my online calendar. And if you are local, I've got some workshops, some yoga, and I am going to be starting an online community where you can work with me individually and through group. So if you want to get on the wait list for that, I would love to chat with you and get that started here as we get into summer. Summertime will be a new coaching group. So the Lighten Your Load Without Blowing Up Your Life group. I'm excited to launch that again. We did that last summer and I loved that group. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that for this week. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I hope to get to see you soon. And until next time, have a great week. Don't forget to submit your questions, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Thanks for tuning in to Inspired by Design with Katie Rupert. If today's episode sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your takeaways, subscribe, or even leave a review to help others find the show. For more tools and insights, visit my free Facebook group. And until next time, keep embracing exactly who you are and move forward one inspired action at a time.